You are off the clock with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, Trish, and I have a sneaking suspicion that just about everybody is off the clock, considering at least by my inbox today, which is mercifully quiet for it's a Friday before a long holiday type weekend. It's
That's
Good
right.
Friday.
It's
I
Good
feel like
Friday.
not everybody's grinding it out today. I don't know. I suspect that.
You know what? It's funny. You and I haven't talked yet today, and so I flew in had early flight.
And and boy, are your arms tired? Or
Boy, are my arms tired.
yes.
No, I'll tell you what. I flew from Denver to St. Louis, and my flight was at 6 a.m. I got up at 2:30 this morning, so a little tired here. Anyway, you know
Poor
what?
planning.
Today is an important day. And I know that you probably don't know it. And I know that when I mention it, you're going to have input, though. You ready for it?
Sure.
Today is World Art Day.
Nice.
And
That.
I know, right? So I was going to say early on in the pandemic, I know we talked about, we were kind of looking for things to do from home, virtual things, whatever. And again, this has been right at 2 years ago. I know we had given out, some props to some of the museums globally who are doing really awesome virtual tours. I went back out there and did the research, so you all don't have to, but there are still a ton of museums out there with really excellent virtual tours.
Oh, that's awesome.
So in honor of that, I'm going to list a few, but I want to see two things while I'm listing these. Have you been to any of these?
Okay.
And do you like, how do you feel about that museum? If you have,
Okay.
I don't know the answer here. And then, are there any museums that I don't mention where you're like, this is one I would recommend people go check out?
Okay, putting me on the spot. All right, go ahead. I'm ready.
I know, but see, I know you like art, so I felt like it would be a fair way to put you on the spot. So
I am a fan.
anyway, I did confirm these all. I looked for all over the globe, just a little handful of museums that have virtual tours. So the Louvre, obviously, everyone's familiar with that in Paris. Have you ever been?
I have been a couple of times. Yes.
Have you really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the one time that I got to Paris and I went, it was closed.
Ooh, was it COVID or something else?
No, like long time ago.
Okay.
But I will tell you, so the one that I went to is Musée d'Orsay.
Yes.
And mainly impressionist art, which I love, 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 love. So, if you want the whole Van Gogh, Cezanne, Da Vinci, Degas, they have a great virtual tour as well.
Mm-hmm. That's a great museum. I've been there as well.
Have you?
One time,
okay.
Just once, yes.
Gosh, you're 2 for 2. This is good. Okay.
That?
What about British Museum?
Lovely museum. I have been. It's great. I like that one because it's got all kinds of stuff. It's got art. It's got archaeology. I think isn't the Rosetta Stone in the British Museum?
It is. It is not too far from the front. At least the last time I went. And what is your favorite thing there, though? Because I remember they had lots of like Egyptian tombs and artifacts. They had oh my gosh, ruins from Greece and from Rome and, huge rooms full of things. So
yeah, great stuff. I don't really remember specifically other than the Rosetta Stone, but I do recall visiting the British Museum. Well worth the trip. Highly recommended.
Okay, we're going to see. You're on a roll. You're 3 for 3. Okay, just a couple more.
Okay.
This one, I'm feeling like you're probably going to say yes. How about the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the largest in our country?
Yes.
In New York City. Is that a good one?
Yeah, absolutely. Must see in New York City. I've been, I don't know, 10 times probably over my lifetime.
Gosh. I've never been.
Well,
I've been to New York a million times.
I grew up not far from New York City, so I'm sure we took some class trips there going back that far, right? So.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Now we're getting a little further. This one I have not been to, but I can't believe I missed it. The Long Museum West Bund. Where do you think that would be?
West Bund? Is that in Shanghai?
It's in Shanghai. Very good. You're a good guesser.
We did not get to. I did not see that one in Shanghai. We've been in Shanghai a couple of different times, right?
I know. And we've walked the Bund with our friends. Let's see. It was us, Jason Averbook, I think Madeline Lorano, Cecile Alper-LaRue. So anyway, so that's one to put on the future visit. How about in Mexico? Centro Cultural y Museo Juan Soriano.
You got me on that one. I've not been.
All right. Well, you know what though? You've hit a majority of those museums. What I'm going to do afterwards, actually, because there are some really cool links, anyone that follows me on Twitter, I'll tweet these out. Please go. I would say it's World Art Day. Go do a virtual art tour.
All right, I'm going to give, since you mentioned World Art Day, I just quickly pulled up on my phone here. I'll give you my new favorite artist whose painting, sadly, I'm not really in the market for because they go for the hundreds of thousands of dollars apparently now. But look up this artist if you like art. And her name is Marina Perez, Perez, Simao, Simao, and the A's got the little tilde on top of it. She's a Brazilian artist born in 1981. She does like multicolor kind of abstract landscapes, if that makes sense. And they're really, really cool. And I would love to have one, or even I couldn't even find a print of one. I've been searching the web to see if I could get just a poster or a print of one. And so far, no luck, but check that out. That's my contribution to World Art Day. There you go.
I love that. See, I sprung that on you and you came in strong, right? You not only have been to 4 out of the 6 I mentioned, you have an artist to share with us. So
so I'll give you my recommended museum, though. You asked for that.
Yes. Where would you go?
The one in Amsterdam, I think it's the Rijksmuseum. Hopefully I say that right.
How do you spell that?
I'd have to Google it. Rijk something other. It's basically the big museum in Amsterdam that's got all the really cool Rembrandts, like the really big, famous.
I love Rembrandt.
The Night Watch is the most famous Rembrandt painting, and it's massive, and it's at the end of this huge hall full of other Rembrandts and other paintings. Absolutely worth it if you get yourself to Amsterdam.
Okay, so afterward, you have to you look that one up and you tweet that one out.
Okay.
If you have a virtual tour, tweet it out. So we're going to share the art love today with everyone. Speaking of art, I watched something this week, and I want to see if you watched it too. Our friend Chris Leone from Oracle.
How is that speaking of art? But go ahead.
It's art. Okay, here's how it's art. Art is in the eye of the beholder. And I think that when you think about the way things are designed, right? Design is art. I'm a huge fan of it. Like I have so many design books that inspire me to write or to think creatively about technology, that sort of thing. I do feel like, so they announced Oracle Me, their new employee experience platform. We're going to talk about it way more next week, but I would just say I'm going to put up the banner. Actually, I made a little banner. People can go check it out in advance. So we're going to talk about it. Go check it out. It's really for HR technology, which is not always like thought of as beautiful. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. It unifies a lot of what what Oracle has done and what we sort of call employee experience, right? Things like check-ins, touch points, help desk services, just the ability to go on, not just process transactions, but go on what Oracle calls them journeys, but sort of navigate your way through your career and through your life and through life events and through career changes and growing and developing, et cetera, all kind of brought together under one umbrella. And it's really cool. This is good stuff. I watched the replay of the virtual event where they kind of did the launch and Chris did the demonstrations of elements of the Me platform. It was really cool. And I'd recommend it. If you go out to that website, I'm sure you can get to the link to see the replay. It's only about 32, 33 minutes long. So you can kind of just quickly do it in a lunch hour or something, and worth checking out if you're an Oracle customer, or even if you're not, just to sort of, because sometimes you hear employee experience and you're kind of like, what does that really kind of mean? I don't really get that. That feels a little bit vague. This puts a lot of specifics behind it and examples and supported by some really cool technology. So kudos to our friends at Oracle.
Yeah. Can I say too, we see lots of demos from a lot of people, and you cannot always get someone that senior to do a demo. Chris always does the demos.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Chris always does the demos. So I love
Shout out Chris.
Shout out to Chris.
All right. Trish, before we go, I got one today. I have a ton of labor market data. Who cares? It's too boring. No one cares anyway on Good Friday. I'll give you one fun item that I read today. Trish, we've talked about it's commencement season coming up in high schools and colleges. And one of the things that comes up every spring is commencement speakers, right? Especially at the college level, right? Colleges kind of vie for famous people, famous alumni, maybe accomplished people in various fields, and they invite them in to do commencement speeches. It's kind of a cool thing. I'd love to do one someday. I've never been invited to do a commencement speech. So anyone out there wants a cheap speaker?
Yeah, how do you get that gig?
I'll do it for nothing. Okay, here we go, Trish. NYU, Trish, New York University in New York. Trish, one of their commencement speakers, they have a number of them because they're doing basically 3 years of graduation in one shot because they've had to postpone graduation due to COVID for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Trish, Taylor Swift, the singer and artist and songwriter, very well known, Trish. Taylor Swift is one of the commencement speakers. And Trish, now what is happening is Taylor Swift fans, who are pretty intense apparently about their fandom for Taylor Swift, they are cold contacting, sliding into the DMs of NYU students to attempt to buy tickets to the graduation ceremony. Yeah, they're trying to basically buy them for an inflated price. There's apparently a secondary market is emerging for these tickets. Students only get 2 tickets apiece, right, for the graduation.
Yeah, and, hey mom, don't go to graduation.
Yeah,
I'm going to
and
sell
one of
your
the students, one student reported, or he tweeted or something, that he's been offered as much as $500 for a ticket to the NYU graduation from a Taylor Swift fan who has nothing to do with NYU, doesn't have anybody they know even graduating, but wants to see Taylor give her speech, which I imagine is probably just going to be put online within minutes of it actually happening anyway. So how about that, Trish? Taylor Swift, NYU, $500, you're in.
You scooped me on that. I feel like there are better ways to see her, right, than to hear her speak. But
could you pay less than that and get like a really upfront ticket to one of her concerts? I'll bet you could. Yeah.
No, I'm sure she's very expensive. I actually watched, I think it was Netflix a couple years ago, again, early pandemic kind of TV watching. Really excellent documentary about her. She's really smart. She's very
she's
smart
super
young
talented,
woman.
super successful. I respect the heck out of that whole thing. So
hardworking.
Don't sell your and actually NYU frowns upon the reselling of tickets because I don't know, they just don't want that happening. In a normal year, it's mostly because a student will say, hey, I've got more family or friends I would like to attend. And maybe another student, maybe they're a foreign student or a student who doesn't need the tickets. So sometimes some of the ticket selling does go on apparently, but not like this.
All right. Well, there you go. There you have it. World Art Day. You've got some homework to do. Oracle me, Taylor Swift. Happy Good Friday.
Have a great long weekend. Happy Easter. Hope the bunny finds you well.
Happy Easter, everyone, if you celebrate that. And we'll see you back here on Monday.
Indeed.
All right. Bye for now.